You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live, This Week, featuring news and commentary on This Week in Black Hollywood. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live This Week, Derrial Christon.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You're watching Black Hollywood Live This Week. I am your host, Derrial Christon, and here joining me today on this Friday, the last day of July, is Courtney Stewart.
What's up, everybody?
DJ Jesse J.
Woo!
And our very special guest today is not only a beverage expert, he is also a host. Paul Zahn is joining us today.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We have a drink on Friday for a special cocktail that you brought for us. So it should be quite festive today.
Careful.
Also joining us a little bit later is TV and radio personality Charlemagne. So we're going to wait for him to call in, and then we'll proceed with a couple of hot items that we'll be talking about with him as well. But first, I want to talk about the buzz meter question for today, which is, would you download the racial profiling app? We have a yes or no answer. You guys let us know what you think, and we'll read those results next week. All right, man, this has been a crazy week. I can't believe that is the end of July. How's everybody's week been?
Warm.
Warm. Yeah, it's warm. It's a good word for it.
It's quite warm.
Hot
It's
as
quite
hell.
warm.
Heated.
Yes. It's
They
not
say-
even like SoCal warm. It's like humid warm.
Yeah.
Which
Miami.
is weird. It's
like
Miami.
a little Miami.
Yeah.
Little Miami. You know what we should have done today is like an Andy Cohen type thing, like a word of the day, and we always have to drink if we read a
Before you
word
say
or
a
say
word.
something. Or,
We don't need a word.
We don't need to- actually,
You
we just
talk,
want to drink. Yes.
drink. You say something, drink
Happy
again.
Friday. Let's Happy Friday
Friday.
to Trending Topics with DJ Jesse J.
So, come on in. He's on down the road. The Wiz NBC Live is going to be coming December 3rd, and they have started to cast some people. Stephanie Mills is going to be playing Auntie Em.
Praise the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
They had to bring her back.
She
She
can always
played
sing.
Dorothy in the original Broadway version.
Yes.
Well, some other names have been pulled. I'm super excited for this. Mary J. Blige will be playing Eveline. And Queen Latifah is said to play The Wiz. Interesting.
Yes.
Very
Very interesting.
Now, see, when I heard the names, instantly I went to Queen Latifah as Eveline.
Eveline.
Mostly
Yes.
because she played Mama Morton in Chicago, so I thought she would have that whole bad guy kind of
Right.
roll down. Mary J. Blige's voice, I guess, is a little more similar to it. She has that raspiness, Eveline. No?
Maybe.
So they have been confirmed that they will be a part of the production. Now there is a rumor going around that Beyonce is being asked to play Glinda,
Yes.
the Good Witch, which people don't know if that's cool, shady, or how to feel about it, because some people are saying she should be obviously the Beehive thinks she should play Dorothy.
God, no.
But it's like Diana Ross already did that. We don't need Beyonce, like a reincarnation of that situation.
But I feel like Beyonce could get it off, though. I can't lie.
But Beyonce doesn't give me little kid in
I was
it.
gonna say,
she's too old.
I love her, but she's too old to be Dorothy.
Okay,
Which was the
all right.
debate about Diana Ross playing it.
I was
Also,
gonna
was
say,
that they
yeah.
felt like Diana Ross was too old to do it. Which, when you look at The Wiz, as much as I enjoy it,
I'm super excited because I think we have Charlemagne on the line.
I think so. Charlemagne, are you here?
Hey.
Charlemagne, are you there?
What's
Well,
not?
we had Charlemagne. Maybe he'll be calling back
maybe get
in.
him back.
All right, back to the Wiz.
So Beyonce, but there's nothing confirmed yet as far as her being a part of the project. I can't wait for this.
Glinda,
I need some more names.
I'm like sitting on the edge of my seat waiting for who's going to be Dorothy, because
No,
I'm like, what they going to do?
Zendaya.
Yo? I would be fine with that.
Yeah.
You said Zendaya?
Yeah.
I
can
would
see
be
that.
fine with it.
I could actually see the whole Aaliyah thing being built up just so that she could have
Take
this.
that.
and
Take
this
the
is
win.
gonna-
Well, I
Take
also
it
feel
out.
like she needs a comeback since the whole controversy of the Aaliyah movie. So
Yes.
she needs this.
Yeah, because everything she's been a part of has so far been
Red carpet.
Yeah.
controversy.
Kirby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be a good role for her.
I think she
actually.
could do it. And people
I
would hate
love
though.
you talking about Bruno Mars. playing
Bruno Mars!
Scarecrow.
I need to start a campaign on Twitter or whatever you call those things with the hashtags.
To be the Scarecrow?
Yes!
He'd be
He
perfect
would
for
be
that. I think I actually
perfect.
read that he was. Someone had thrown that out there
As
as
soon
well.
as they said they were doing The Wiz for this on TV musicalness, I was like, Bruno Mars is my first pick, period.
Yes.
That's who I cast immediately in my brain.
Instantly.
So, listen to me. those out there who are casting this show.
I would love to take it in a different direction. Chance the Rapper to play the Tin Man.
I'm not mad at that.
And mostly based off the video he just released this week. I just think that he's showing an Andre 3000 side of himself, and I'd like to see what he could do acting-wise. And I want to get some hip-hop in there. If we're going to make The Wiz Queen Latifah, like, let's do it up.
See, I was actually even going to say Chris Brown being the Scarecrow. I think that'd be interesting.
Chris Brown is too ostracizing, and The Wiz, like, I don't Chris Brown involved.
But it would give a little edge to The Wiz.
I don't want Chris
That's a
Brown.
lot of
It's
edge.
on, what, NBC? No.
Yeah. No, Bruno Mars.
No, Bruno Mars.
Chris Brown 10 years ago.
Yeah.
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 That would have
I almost could see Bruno Mars being the lion, though. There's something about, I don't know.
He's a little petite.
He's a little too young for the
Yeah, you're right.
I want
right.
a bigger, broader sort of personality for that. I just feel like he would be the Scarecrow really well. I don't know what that was, but whatever.
All right. Well, so make sure you guys check that out December 3rd. I'm sure some names are going to be dropping. Clearly, we're going to talk about it again once they announce Dorothy. So, moving on from that. So, I was online. I was looking at some stuff, and there is a racial profiling app that is, well, trying to come out. So, it's called Legal Equalizer. It is created by 34-year-old insurance salesman, God bless me for this, but Bobbi Kristina and basically created this app. It's a bunch of letters, so I'm just running with it.
I'm going to drink to that.
Let's all drink to that, you know.
Cheers.
Shout out to your mama. So, okay, but no, in all seriousness, is that he created this app because obviously there are so many incidents happening right now. People feel unprotected. They don't feel like they know what their rights are. So he created this app called Legal Equalizer, in which it reads your rights. So if you're in a situation, you can see, do I have the right to do this? Do I have the right to let them in my car? It also has a button where you open the app instantly and it starts recording. So it'll record you and the police officer and whatever's going down. As soon as you're done, it has the option for it to upload to 3 different social media platforms.
Oh, wow.
And there's also an SOS button, which
I like that.
apparently reaches out. It sends the video to family, friends, and also social media.
Interesting.
What are your thoughts on this?
I think if you're reaching for a phone, you're putting yourself in danger again.
That is exactly where I was going first. I was like, how much time do you have before they shoot you before you try and record them?
Theoretically, it sounds fabulous.
Right.
I like the ability to just sort of click something quickly and it'll open and start recording and it'll upload to other sources. I think that's a great idea, but like the actual act of trying to like open your app and read your right, like.
Yeah. And then my other thing is like, where if you're feeling violated by a cop or cops approaching you, you feel like something could go down. You're trying to hold this in your hand. Like, at what point, you know, you got to angle this correctly. You got to put it in your car in a certain place for it to record properly. It has to be sitting up. Like, those are the things that I was questioning when I read the article about this. I mean, I think it's a great idea and I think it's needed at the stage, unfortunately, that we're at right now. But I was trying to think of logistically how that all would work if you are in a dangerous situation.
I mean, it also, I mean, I just feel like I'm going to be on my Facebook and it's just going to be like, pop, 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 pop,
Stuff constantly happening.
Right.
Like,
What about you, Paul? What do you think?
Oh, I think it's a little tricky. If there was some apparatus in your car that you could touch to activate it or something on your steering wheel, that would make sense so as to not, mislead anybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's risky.
Yeah.
What happened back to the security cameras on the police officers? I haven't heard anything about that anymore.
I mean, they're still trying to do it. It costs money. Nobody's going to want to spend. The problem is money.
That's true. Yeah.
That's why they didn't exist to begin with. It's like we got to raise taxes again to buy cameras for everybody.
That's true.
And a lot of them have them.
Yeah.
What I do like, or the idea of an app, racial profiling, is to, since we're in a gamer's world or something, maybe somehow create an app that teaches people. Because I like my favorite part about this whole thing is not the
knowing your
recording
rights.
part, is the fact that, I can type in what situation I'm in and it's going to show me what my rights are, versus having to Google it or, wait for the internet to pop up and all that stuff. So I think that's interesting. So maybe to kind of
Like a
branch
precautionary
Yeah,
measure,
something.
educational.
Yeah.
I like that. Like
'Cause
even if they like broke it up and like said, if you're pulled over for a traffic stop, here's what you can and cannot do. Here's what happens if you are, accosted because you were in a store and they think you robbed something. Here are your rights. Like specific situations so people at least can read it beforehand maybe and then go into life and hope.
So they have a Kickstarter account. You guys can go help them out. Apparently, within the week of doing it, they raised a little over $1,000. So they're looking for some more sponsors. So make sure you guys check that out. And also hit us up at BHL, and let us know what the buzzer beater question. Would you guys download the racial profiling app? Also, make sure you guys check out our sister site, AfterBuzz TV. I don't know if AfterBuzz is our sister or our brother.
We haven't
No, we
figured that
haven't found
out.
a sex
I thought we
word
said
quite yet.
cousin at some point.
Our
Okay.
cousin
First
site,
cousin.
AfterBuzzTV.com. Whatever your favorite TV show is, make sure you head over to the site right after it's done, and we'll be there talking about it. Boom.
Cool, thank you. All right, moving on to gossip with Courtney Stewart.
Ooh, gossip. Some stuff was happening this week. All right. Well, speaking of the Jacksons and their legacy and all the wonderful things, we're all excited about Janet because she's, about to go on tour,
I got my
guys. And
ticket.
she's been prepping. Daryl's
September.
got his
I'll be
ticket
there.
for September. Well,
The
you
rumor
may have to
is-
wait because the rumor has it that Janet has had to put her tour preparation on hold because this week, unfortunately, her father, the great Joe Jackson, who was turning 87 years old he turned 87 on July 25th. He was celebrating his birthday in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and
bet
he had
he
a
was.
stroke.
I
I was
bet
like,
he
oh,
was.
brother, what you doing at
He's
87
partying
in Brazil? Yes, we think he got it in a little too well in Brazil because unfortunately he did have a stroke and he was in the hospital. So word on the street is that Janet put a halt to all of her activities for the tour and said that she would go be by her father's side until he was stable. And so we don't really know if she's headed back now because he's okay as far as we're aware because he posted a comment on his website. Joe has a website.
I was just like,
He
Once
has
again,
a website.
I'm sure he
and
does.
literally a couple days after his stroke, he posted the following comment. He said, "To my family, friends, and acquaintances, and fans all over the world, I want to thank you all for your prayers and unwavering support and kind well wishes during these trying times. Through God's intervention, the wonderful doctors, nurses, and caretakers at the Albert Einstein Sao Paulo Hospital have taken great care of me. God willing, I should be able to make a quick recovery and travel back home soon. Thank you all once again for your prayers and support." It was a very elaborate message.
Joe, eloquent too.
And
Joe's real
eloquence,
eloquent.
yeah. So they said that was posted on his website a couple days, so he seems to be doing pretty well. Strokes, can have a lot of physical after effects. So in terms of physical therapies and things like that, we're not really sure what's going on, but
Let
that's
Latoya
rough.
take care of him. Janet, go on
Come on,
tour.
Janet,
I
come
mean,
on
come
tour.
on. I
Latoya's
know you're
got
going to Anaheim to see her. So come on.
And Latoya's got time.
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see.
Well, I'm glad too that I feel like we hear so many negative things about Joe in the press and with the family, and we hear a lot of things with Michael. That it's actually nice to hear that Janet is
by
stopping
his
the tour,
Stopping
went
what
by
she's
his
doing
side.
and going by his side. And they said that the brothers were also headed to Brazil too, so it wasn't just Janet.
I bet the brothers are headed to Brazil. I would be there too. Yes. No diss to the Jacksons, and Joe, I hope you get well soon.
Hope you get well
That
soon.
PR
For many reasons.
That's a great little message he wrote up
yeah.
there.
Yeah, his
I
PR
wonder
did
if
a great job.
Him and Beyonce have the same PR. It sounds a little bit like that elevator incident.
Ooh, okay.
Oh.
Well, we wish you very well, Joe
Yes.
Jackson. Quick healing and
Quick
get
healing.
back soon. All right. Other crazy news this week. Draya and Michele of the Basketball Wives. So there's been this drama between her and her fiance, or maybe not fiance, or kind of fiance this week. We don't really know if they're really fiance or not right now because every other week they're taking rings off and announcing to the world that they're not together. But
One of those couples.
Draya Michele of Basketball Wives and her maybe fiance, Dallas Cowboys player Orlando Scandrick, have had some drama this week again because he had taken out a restraining order against her because she apparently had threatened to show this week wearing her enormous engagement ring. So they're in love and maybe they're working it out. Maybe it was all for the promotion of Basketball Wives, which is also some of the word on the street. Who knows?
Messy teeny. That was a cocktail.
just
I
tell
would
Paul's
call it
face.
a
And
messy
it's
teeny.
Such a circular mess. It's ridiculous.
Because wait, is this the same guy that last season Jackie was like, "Oh, your man's talking to my daughter" or something? Is it that one?
I don't even know. Because there's been
So many men.
Because that's part of the that's supposedly part of the problem with the relationship is that Ms. Draya likes her mans, and apparently he found some naked pictures of another athlete on her phone the week he proposed, and then then he found
messy.
naked pictures of
Real messy.
another player on her phone, and that's why he said he made a rash decision to propose, and it was not a good idea, but he's still in love, and so they're always constantly going back and forth.
Well, she also, I mean, listen, she can't be far from her character on Basketball Wives. I mean, that type of life seems to follow her wherever she goes. So, maybe she likes it. She must like it a lot.
I mean,
She's on a TV show about it.
y'all look good together, so let's.
She's
She's
pretty.
a beautiful
Well,
girl.
she's gorgeous. She
She's a
looks
beautiful
good with
girl.
anybody, and she loves herself some athletes, and usually they're pretty hot. So you can't be mad. She's getting it in a little extra.
She's getting it in.
I mean, they get it in.
He's
Why
getting
can't
it
she
in.
get it in?
Yeah, silence on the panel.
I
here.
mean,
No comment.
No judgment.
No judgment.
Draya girl, get it in however you
Get
need
it
to.
in.
And wear that beautiful ring, because it is gorgeous.
It's a nice ring.
It's a very nice
As
ring.
it should be. All right. Is that all you got for us today?
Everybody's
As
like,
you sip that drink there, Courtney?
That's all we got.
All right. Well, before we move on to our hot topics, I want to remind everybody to go to iTunes, look up Black Hollywood Live. We have about 15 different shows that you can choose from. You can go back and even look at some of the shows that Paul's been on before. With this week with us, we got The Beat with Jesse. We got Fashion 401, which Courtney hosts, and an assortment of different shows as well. That we really want you guys to let us know what you're thinking about the shows. We love a 5, but if you don't want to give us a 5, let us know why, and we will be sure to take that into account as we are designing the program each week to give you the best programming that we can give you. So go to blackhollywoodlive.com, or actually just Black Hollywood Live on iTunes, and give us a good rating. All right, moving on to the EUR Web Story Spotlight of the Week.
EUR Web Story Spotlight of the Week.
All right, this story has been kind of in the news for a while, and I think we finally have gotten to a place where, unfortunately, Bobbi Kristina has recently died. She passed away last week at the age of 22. We know that she had suffered a accident on January 31st and was in a coma for a while, and then after that they took her off and they put her on meds, and the family last week decided to take away the meds, and she unfortunately died. Well, the drama is still continuing with the family between the Houstons and the Browns. Apparently, Pat Houston, who is the wife of Gary Houston, who's Whitney Houston's brother, is in charge of creating the ceremony for her funeral tomorrow that's going to take place in Jersey, and she's going to be buried next to Whitney. Well, her other side of the family, the Brown side, aunt by the name of Leola Brown, has got a big problem with Pat in reference to how the funeral arrangements are being made. Apparently, Leola feels that the arrangements are benefiting Pat in regards to, there is a foundation called the Marion P. Foundation that benefits troubled teens that Pat started, and she wants all of the donations to go there if you want to donate for anything for the funeral. Well, Leola has gone on record and said that this account links to Pat's personal bank account. So she's urging everyone to not put money into the account because she says that Pat is not the nice, sweet person that everyone is perceived to be. And she said that basically if Whitney Houston was still alive, that she would account for how the image of Pat is that she's nice, but she really isn't this nice person at all. So there's been back and forth all week in reference to that. In fact, Tyler Perry has even gotten involved with being a mediator for the family, and he's gotten in the middle of this, trying to kind of keep equal sides, keep the sides equal. They're saying for the funeral that everyone has to show a government ID to attend the funeral. It's just a lot of drama that's going back and forth. And we also know, of course, that Nick Gordon is still being looked at for charges in reference to what has happened with Bobbi Kristina. They've said even this week that he was on suicide watch. Mm-hmm. I know that he got issued a $10 million. It was like a lawsuit, $10 million lawsuit as well, and he's really being investigated. And there's irony to this story is that they were talking about the similarities of Bobby Brown and Nick Gordon in reference to both families did not like these men. Yeah. And now TMZ reported today that Nick had written a letter to Bobby and to Pat begging them to let him attend the funeral. Now, they didn't say that if Bobby had responded yet, but the media was comparing how the same thing kind of happened because Nick's not able to go to the funeral, but then Bobby was also, the family blamed Bobby for Whitney's death, of course, and then even at the funeral, he left early because of a problem with seating there. Mm-hmm. So, what do you guys think about all this drama that's going back and forth with the Browns versus the Houstons?
It's crazy. And now isn't it a homicide investigation?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now that it's just too much.
It's a lot going on.
It's just, it's sad to even have these types of conversation when you're talking about a funeral, putting somebody to rest and nobody's resting. That's a lot of tea, though, with Miss Pat, though. I would really like to... I mean, that shouldn't be too hard to follow those trails to see if that's true or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if this... But then at the same time... But I guess it wouldn't be attached to her personal account. But I guess you could say that if she started the charity... I mean...
It's not like a thriving charity yet.
You know?
Maybe
Yeah.
it's still... Yeah, there's still like...
She could have a salary within the charity that she's benefiting from.
Which is... I don't know.
It's a touchy subject.
It's a touchy
Let's just
subject.
pick a charity not involved
Yes.
with it.
Yeah, but at the same time, we don't know a relationship because Pat was the closer family member
To Bobbi.
to Whitney and Bobbi Kristina.
Yeah.
I don't know if at the end that relationship had to get a little murky, but from what I'm
Bobbi
aware
Kristina
of,
was staying with them.
yeah,
with Pat
from what I'm
and
aware
Gary.
of, Pat has been their support fairly regularly throughout the years, even when Whitney was going through whatever she went through with Bobbi and the changes and the shifts and whatever. So all that being said, there may be some relationship Bobbi Kristina had to that charity that we're not aware of, and it's sort of like, why are you bringing this up? This random auntie from Bobby Brown, like if Bobby's not bringing it up, like don't you? It's not your position. Like I feel like you're out of your lane and you're adding unnecessary drama to an already horrifically dramatic situation.
Has been for
And
years too.
at this point, for me, if the funeral arrangements are being made by Gary or that side of the family, either that was stipulated in something, somewhere, or Bobby Brown has submitted to allowing that to be the case. And in that regard, he has given permission for them to do what they're going to do, and you need to back off, random cousin, like, because you're just causing problems. So I think it's all dreadful, obviously, and I mean... It's just the saddest, horrible thing ever. And I personally, I don't know Nick Gordon. I don't know nothing about him, but it's her funeral. Like, he wasn't able to see her while she was in her coma, as far as I'm aware. I don't think they ever gave up on that. At least let him say goodbye. Because in the end, whether he's there or not, she's not coming back. So if nothing else, like, give him that. Like, I can't imagine barring him from the funeral.
Well, they said even like during some recent questioning with him that he was wearing the promise ring, her promise ring on his finger. And another thing is that's been causing a lot of controversy is where all Bobbi Kristina's money is going to go, because there's been a lot of rumors about that. And I read something recently that they said that it's really already in Whitney's will on where the money goes. It's just it hasn't been announced. Now, I don't know if that's because of they're just getting through the funeral portions and the arrangements for that. And then, of course, you know, all this craziness with what's going on with Nick and if he did anything foul to her. But that is also something that's causing rifts, you know, apparently between the families as well. And when it comes down to it's sad. It's money. You know what I mean? Someone has died and it's money, but it happens every day to a lot of families. But it's just unfortunate because I feel like trouble has seemed to follow this situation from the beginning. From even when Bobbi and Whitney were married, there was always just a lot of controversy surrounding money all the way to now with Bobbi Kristina's death.
Right, and I hate when people are like, oh, if Whitney was here, she would have... Well, we don't know what Whitney would have said because Whitney's not around to say that. So now you just throw in a person's name.
And
just like Bobby might say, no, I want the chair.
Yeah,
You know?
and even in saying that, when Whitney was here, she was good with Nick. So
And was she good with Pat too?
She was good with Nick, and as far as we're aware, I don't believe there was a rift towards the end with her and Pat. As far as I'm aware, she and Pat were still okay. They've had rifts throughout the years, but Pat has always been the family member that was like by their side.
Yeah.
So as far as we know, she was good with Nick and they were good with Pat. So why it's just noise, and it's unnecessary noise, and it's horrible noise in a time when people should be grieving and working through their grief and not adding more grief to grief. It's absurd.
Sad.
Yeah, when it comes to money, the root of evilness always comes out in some form, right?
That's really
Sometimes.
what it is. The Browns are like, well, can we channel that money over here some
Right.
kind of way?
People come out of
into
the
our-
woodwork.
Yeah.
This seems like a situation where people come out of the woodwork. We've never heard from this
Yeah, who
aunt
is this
before,
auntie?
and all
Like,
of a
where did
sudden
she come from?
somebody gave her, you know, a platform, and she's going to speak.
And then they were also fighting about apparently there's a death picture from the hospital that has been circulating, or
Some shady
someone's trying to
employee.
circulate it or sell it, and there's been drama surrounding that. So just let the girl rest in peace,
Yes.
and you know, I hope that they can really get this situation solved, and also just figure out what happened overall, because it's still a big mystery.
And Bobby, good luck, brother.
Good luck, brother.
All prayers with you, man, 'cause that's-
all prayers for you.
That's rough.
It's a lot. It's a lot to handle in the
And
last
he
couple
just had
years.
another baby,
Yeah.
and like I just can't even imagine
Yeah.
where his brain is.
Not at
Yeah.
all.
Sad.
All right, well, on to something positive. Our last story of the day, actually, is something I was reading about that I was really excited about. Is there's a nonprofit group called Homes for the Homeless, and what they have done is they invited around 500 homeless children to come to summer camp in upstate New York. The group formed in 1989, and it brought around 100 of kids in every summer for a 16-day sleepaway camp. Some of the activities include swimming, volleyball, beach work, dancing, drama, fishing, hiking, and also journal writing, which I thought was pretty cool, and bug hunting. But I mean, if you're like 6 to 13, that's fun.
I used to catch butterflies in the net.
I mean, listen, I might want to go catch some bugs right now too. I don't know. I don't see a lot.
Never had a net and caught butterflies.
The only thing I used to catch were lightning bugs.
Oh.
And they would always die because we didn't catch
the
a clue
jar?
to poke a hole.
No, I would never poke the hole.
We would never poke holes in the jar.
The
We
light
like,
went
they're
out.
dead. Anyway.
Well, they also
Their
have
battery
2
died.
family shelters in Queens and also in the Bronx of New York. So, this is something really positive for the kids. And, I remember just going to regular summer camp as a kid. It's always a fun time. And for these kids that don't necessarily have that, for them to be able to experience that for a good 2 weeks, I think is just pretty powerful. And that's life-changing for them, So shout out to them.
Shout out
Yes.
to them. 2 weeks
Homes
they
for
get
the
to
homeless.
just be kids.
Yes.
That's awesome.
I love
right.
it. I mean, working at the Boys and Girls Club, you see how it changes kids. And you see, especially most of the kids who are there don't have a home or don't have that luxury to be a child. So to be able to take them someplace that they've never been before and just all these crazy adventures, it inspires them. It takes them out of their element. It allows them to think, wait a minute, whatever I'm going back to isn't what I have to stay in. Support it.
Support it.
I wish more people would do this.
Yeah, and I like to hear the news stories because we hear so many negative things in the news. So it's nice to hear someone's giving back and really changing someone's life.
Yes.
All right, well, that concludes the stories of today. But we want to talk to Mr. Paul Zahn about what's going on with you, man. You brought in these
What are we drinking?
spectacular
I know,
cocktails.
this
Here, what are we
light
drinking?
and delicious.
This is very light and
Yes.
summery. I like this.
It is. So this is 50 cents cucumber melon cooler.
Go for
It's a
50.
mouthful. So it's made with Ethan vodka, which you guys might know is 50 cents vodka, which is from Holland, and it's actually cucumber flavored vodka, which is nice. It's perfect for the summer. It's crisp. There's also some Midori melon liqueur, which is a cordial that's melon flavored from Japan. Then there's some lime juice, pureed cucumbers, and ice. And there you go.
It's very
Piece of
refreshing
heaven.
in this heat.
Yes,
so
it is.
this is for an event tomorrow,
Yes.
and thumbs up, thumbs down. What are we thinking?
I'm gonna give it.
summertime?
I'm gonna give it 2
thumbs
thumbs up. I'm actually gonna throw my big toes up in here. If you,
Let's drink to
of course
that.
You can't see
Let's
it.
drink to that.
There you go.
Cheers.
And you've been active. You've been going around to different networks and stations and doing your thing. So what can your fans see you and what are you doing next?
Yes. Well, I'm working with BravoTV.com on a new column called 5 Musts, where I connect with Bravo celebrities and friends of Bravo, and we chat about 5 must-visit spots or 5 must-visit items for going back to school with Lisa Rinna. So that's one thing I'm working on, and then I'm also in talks to do some stuff with BravoTV.com that's video stuff. So they're really enjoying. They like the liquor, they like mixology, and I like Bravo. So I mean, there we go.
It's a
So it's
perfect
like
match.
it's a perfect pair. And then I'm also just working with Beam Suntory, which is the 3rd largest liquor company in the world. They own Effin' Vodka, they own Skinny Girl. They own Midori. They own a bunch of different brands. So I'm
So they got a
focusing
lot of
on
money, is what you're saying.
They do. They have
Yes,
money. They have
they're
money.
doing all right.
Mhm.
Okay.
They're doing good. But they have like
Coin
about
and liquor.
1,200 SKUs, so there's a lot. But right now I'm focusing on Midori mainly. So yeah, that's what's going on with me.
I love this because it doesn't taste like liquor.
That's what I was
No.
gonna say. Yeah.
But it's not so sweet that you're like,
Yeah, it's
I
light.
can't.
It's
Like,
very light.
So light and fresh. Love it.
It'll be perfect for the outside too. Just like if it's sunny, it's very refreshing.
And then we're also doing tomorrow night a melon meringue pie cocktail, which is Crucian coconut rum, Midori melon liqueur, pineapple juice, and an optional whipped cream topper.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
because,
Alright.
there's pies.
I'm very excited
you said
about this.
pies.
I'm
I wanted
excited
to
about
do
this
something.
party.
I will be
something fun.
optioning yes.
Yes.
On that whipped cream.
And the leftover whipped cream, you do with it as
Whatever
you
you
choose
choose.
after a few
Well,
drinks.
After a few drinks, we will see what
You guys
happens.
can check out my Periscope.
Now, my other question for you too is: so if people want, like they're watching right now and they heard you give the mix of what this is, but I'm sure there's an assortment of different things that Baca can create and Midori can create.
Yes.
Where could they find those things out? Like, where's a good place to find good drink recipes?
Well, they could tweet me. I could.
Yes.
I'm more than happy to tweet back some recipes. I'm constantly tweeting out recipes. Martini Monday, Tipsy Tuesday. My Twitter is at @IamPaulzon, and I also post a lot of recipes on my
Yes, he does.
on my Instagram. So you know,
Might
follow Paul.
recognize
He's the
those
man.
on a girl's night.
yes.
Like, ooh, let's try this.
So that is @Paulzon. So that's where you can find some of this stuff.
All right. Well, thank you,
Go to the
man.
source.
Thank
you for
you.
coming in, and we really enjoyed you commenting today on all the topics, and of course we enjoyed the alcoholic beverage that we
course.
have today. Shout out to Paulzon. Now, Courtney, where can your fans find you?
I am on Twitter and
Drinking on the
Instagram
beach.
at Stuart Starlet,
Drinking on
and
the
I will
beach.
be on the beach with this a little bit later.
Jesse?
DJ Jesse J.
And Paul, just repeat again where fans can find you.
Twitter is @IamPaulzon, and Instagram is @Paulzon.
Boom.
And you can find me at Derrial Christon on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And also remember to read the Buzz Meter question and let us know what you think. Would you download the racial profiling app? Yes or no? Let us know. We'll read those results next week. And also remember to go to iTunes and give us a rating because we really appreciate that. Have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you in August.
Bye.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.
From executives Kevin Undergaro, Derrial Christon, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio, Instagramming @KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
Hollywood
Redefined.